Molweni, and welcome to Sunday Sessions with Gugu. We are so happy that you could join us this evening. It has been quite the year. The start of SSG on KNDT was welcomed with such encouragement and support. Today marks our 20th show, which could not have happened without the incredible support of the SSG team and, of course, you watching us at home. With that said, next week, we will bring you our final show for 2020 and come back again in 2021 with even fresher content as we start off the new year. Coming up on the show tonight, we have an Eastern Cape entrepreneur, founder and organizer of one of the biggest events in South Africa. My second guest is a designer and lecturer who has creative talent breaking through South African boundaries. Our musical guest this evening is a young hip-hop artist who is trailblazing through the music scene. And of course, the effervescent of the show, DJ LT, is here with the headline set. The Berlin November is a key event in the province's tourism and entertainment industry. The COVID-19 pandemic forced the event space as a whole to adapt to its regulations. However, this year, the Berlin November will continue to take place, although the horse racing event will be markedly different. Joining us to speak about the event is founder and organizer Luthando Bacha. Hello, Budi.
Hello, sis, and good evening. Good evening to your viewers as well.
Lovely stuff, and Ngosi for joining us this evening.
Thank you so much, and congratulations on your 20th show, my
Ngosi.
Time flies.
It actually does. It actually does. But when the COVID-19 regulations were put in place, and the event space stopped, did you think we'd actually come to a point where Berlin November would happen this year?
To be honest, I personally had ruled it out, but the calls from the horse racing community, the artists and everybody who gets to get a little bit of income through this event, has been worrying me,
Yeah.
And we thought that it would actually be selfish of us to punish those people who we are a conduit for them to get financial gain just because there is limit to numbers, or we think that we may not make profit.
Sure.
So we will do the event regardless, because we have taken a view that it's not about us, it's not about what we can make, but it is to appreciate that artists will not just be paid for sitting at home. They will have to perform in a platform.
Sure.
So the best thing we can do is to create that platform. Sure. It doesn't matter how much people feel for them. They're not going to just give them money. They will still need to have a platform through which they can contribute to their livelihood, and that's basically why we have the event, albeit in a different shape and size.
Sure. I really want to tap into how it will be different, obviously, this year. So what shape is the event going to take?
Essentially, it's a charity extravaganza.
Okay.
That is mostly hospitality. We have also infused the car show.
Okay.
As a, as an inaugural addition to the platform. But back to the charity event. What we usually do, remember that for the horse racing community to get the prize monies, it is the hospitality and sponsorships that fund that component.
Okay, sure.
It's not like we get money from government or any platform to give it to the horse breeders, your jockeys, horse owners.
Yes.
We take from what we generate and we create prize monies out of it.
Okay.
So what we're doing this year is to say, look, let us just have the hospitality component. That will be fashion or race day fashion. It will be live music. It will be the auto show. And it will be all day hospitality.
Lovely.
So we will use whatever we make out of that and hand it over to the racing community.
Okay.
So that they can go back to where they stay. They do not need to drive to Berlin now. So what we'll do through the association, we'll hand over the check on that day.
Okay.
To say this is what we have raised on your behalf. You can now go back to Kumbo, to Tsolo, to Jwa and have your own races, determine how you can assist. If races are not allowed, see how you can best help those in need in those areas.
Sure.
So for us, it is really a way of contributing and pledging solidarity
Sure.
with the horse racing community,
Understood.
who have not been able to make any income.
Yeah.
You know, since the start of the lockdown.
Sure.
And also they do not get to be considered for government relief programs. You know, so it's a painful state of affairs. Maintaining a horse is very expensive. You are forced to train it, because if they don't train, they develop other health conditions.
Sure.
So work doesn't stop. They need to be maintained, they need to be fed, they need to be medically cared for, they need to be trained. So jockeys must still train, trainers must still train the horses, you know. So there's a whole lot of things that happens behind the background.
Sure.
That most of us are not aware of. So those things have to continue. So it is only through racing that they get funded.
Understood.
So that's why we felt that even if there will be no racing, but there must be some attempt to fund those programs, because if we do not take care of them, then we may not have the Berlin November next year, because we do not have athletes. So it is in our best interest if we are pragmatic about how to grow the platform, that take care of the athletes so that they take care of your own property.
Makes sense, makes sense. So as an event goer, you know, Gugu, for instance, wanting to attend the event, where will it be, and how? So you mentioned the hospitality part of it all. Just walk us through that part of the event.
So the event is taking place on the 28th, this Saturday.
All right.
At the Jan Smuts Stadium in East London. So people don't have to drive to Berlin and risk all the things that happen when people have had niceties, you know. So
I understand.
So it will be in town.
Yes, yes.
We open at 11.
Okay.
And we will possibly close around 11:30 at night. It will be, as I said, a combination of celebrity treatment, red carpet, entertainment. As usual, we've got your RGB, we've got your SABC Trends, we've got most of the SABC magazine shows coming. So there isn't much of a difference in terms of the event treatment. The only difference is that there is no horse racing.
Understood.
But we do that ever aware of the fact that most people never really worry about horses anyway, you know. So we do not think that there will be much difference. However, there will be some presence of you will still feel that we are at a race course.
Oh, that's good.
So there will still be horses, you know.
Oh, okay, okay.
They may not be racing, but they will be doing a number of equine races, equine dances, and a whole lot of demonstrations that people don't really get exposed to.
Yeah.
But also we will, in the virtual screens, reflect on the actual races that have taken place in the past. So we will still create the mood
Yes.
of a horse racing event, and we still expect people to dress to the nines.
Absolutely.
And yeah.
Speaking about dressing to the nines, I mean, I think the Bitter November is pretty known, especially in the province, as that one event where we can just go all the way out in terms of fashion and how we look. So is there a theme this year, by the way?
It's a strange theme that responds to what we're going through. Remember that the president has declared the 25th to the 29th as the mourning period for GBV victims and COVID-19 victims. So the theme is black, sexy black.
Okay, okay.
Sexy black. Yeah, we expect people to really dress up as they usually do, and we know that the Berlin November revelers never fall short of this. Also, most importantly, we will have around 3:30, we will have a moment to respond to the morning.
Sure.
So that 30 minutes will be dedicated to a few speeches, hopefully by the premier, the clergy, the mayor, to actually join the country in mourning the victims. So that's why in the lineup of artists, you'll find that we also have got your gospel artists like Buto Vutela and others.
Sure.
Bulumko Grace, because we want to at least, whilst we are enjoying, still reflect and say to those families that are grieving, we are part. We feel their pain, and we're part of what they are going through.
Sure.
And also we want to also add those who have been affected economically by COVID. People have lost jobs, people have lost income, and it's quite painful. It's gonna lead to a lot of health-related issues at a scale that we never anticipated. People are depressed, a whole lot of things, are taking place. People are losing houses, people are losing cars, children are being pulled out of schools. So it is something that we need to reflect upon. We think that the legally we are able to do, we will, at least by the end of the day, have allowed a few families to have something to smile at going home.
Sure. Just to unpack more about the artists that are expected to be at the show, you mentioned gospel elements as well. So who are the other artists that, revelers can expect to see?
We've been very deliberate in the selection, because only us think that the event is different. Some people think that it's the same event. So your home artists want to be part of it. Your Maskand, and the difference is that the audience is, there is a change in audience.
Got you.
There is change, and people who pay 2,000 per ticket will be different from people who pay 170 per ticket. So it means the type of artist you bring has to be different as well. So we are having only Eastern Cape artists.
Okay, great.
So we have NAC Music, we have Nati, we have Zahara, we have the likes of Buto Vutela, we have Titi. I know he performed here as well in the past. Then of course over 23 local artists that we are bringing in. We know that we can't bring everybody, but for a crowd of 400 people, to be having around 30 artists, even it's an overkill. But we wanted to make sure that at least we do our part.
Sure.
You know, to contribute to the cultural industry.
Understood. You know, this will mark the 7th edition of the Bill in November. You know, just looking back as to when you started, how has the event grown over the years? And, you know, just your comments just around having pulled off 6 of these before, and now this is going to be the 7th one.
Time flies really.
Yeah.
As I said, remember that when we started, we were never thinking of this property as an event property. It was for us more the monetization of what was essentially a socio-cultural activity.
Okay.
Where people, if there's a wedding in a locality, they will then use horses to do a whole lot of things, you know. So when we started, we realized that, you know, people in the Eastern Cape in particular loved it so much, you know, so it grew up to be an event. So from 1,500 people in 2014 to about 30,000 in 2019.
Yeah.
You know, so it's been growing exponentially, you know, and we were ever grateful for the support we've been getting.
Sure.
You know, and we think that it is a platform that has now gotten traction not only in the Eastern Cape to other provinces.
Absolutely.
That's why last year we took a decision to expand to the Free State.
Wow.
So we started a platform called the Grand Tabure there. Of course, we had to cancel because of COVID this year, you know. But really, the whole participation of black people in the horse racing industry, you know, is something that has not been there. And we think we were pathfinders, you know, in this instance, and that we would want to extend our experience, knowledge, and vision to other provinces that have got nothing of this, like the Free State. So, of course, even at that, that side, it was warmly welcome.
That's good.
You know. And of course, it gives the opportunity. It allows, though. Remember that horse races include participants from Lesotho, KZN, and Free State, and so it makes sense that you have people from the Eastern Cape also participating in other provinces instead of having those provinces only coming.
True. Yeah.
You know, but again, this platform is a tourism platform.
Absolutely.
You know, it helps create it creates value for the tourism products in the Eastern Cape. And the weekend of the Bill in November is not just an event. You know, there are a number of things that will be happening. It means local clubs are able to have parties.
Sure.
We'll be having also a sexy black all black party, after party at Omai.
Sure.
On Sunday, the
All
29th.
All
you
right.
know. So you'll see that we want more people to benefit from the brand, you know, and that's what we're looking for. We want to see those fuel stations selling more fuel. We want to see B&Bs taking more people.
Absolutely.
We want to see restaurants, you know, having more footfall. You know, all those things, they contribute to the growing of the local economy and improving domestic tourism.
Lovely stuff, John. Just lastly, you know, how can people wanting to go to the event communicate with the team in order to purchase tickets to go?
Tickets are available at web tickets
Okay.
and Pick and Pay.
All righty then.
You know. But it is also important to mention that we would want to discourage people with comorbidities.
Sure.
And people who are older than 60 not to come to the event,
Okay.
for their safety.
Their safety, yeah, makes sense.
So it's those things that we would want to encourage. And also people must know that they will have to be screened.
Okay.
If for some reason you are found not fit to participate, you'll have to be attended at the event.
Sure.
And so we're talking to the Department of Health to do screening as well for every person who goes there.
Sure.
So we want also to, of course, working with the disaster management authorities in the city, to say, let us use the Berlin November as an example of how a COVID-sensitive event should be. And if we make mistakes, we are able to correct those for the events that are going to. So we are well aware that if we behave carelessly, we may make things difficult for events that will follow after us.
Sure.
So we were ever aware of the burden on our shoulders to make sure that we actually make things easier for everyone. We exercise social distances.
Sure.
Social distancing. We encourage people to wear masks. We also exercise a number of protocols. We also have our own that we are going to be implementing, and also those that government has prescribed.
Sure. All right, Gugu. Well, thank you so much, for joining us and enlightening us about the event this weekend.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure.
And we look forward to more of your content next year, 2021. Thank you.
Alrighty, then that was Luthando Bacha, founder and organizer of the Berlin November, which will be having its 7th edition this coming Saturday. We are surely looking forward to that one. So after the break, we have our next studio guest, so don't go anywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are invited to an extraordinary moment, a moment we've been waiting for, a virtual launch of our collective book, To My Young Self, a book of its kind, authored by men and women home and abroad, a book that was conceived and born during the world pandemic. We are honored to have Professor Lumumba as our guest. It's a rare opportunity to marvel into his wisdom. He will definitely have something to say to our young selves on the day. The launch is on the 5th of December 2020 at 11 a.m. live on KNDT Facebook page, Kids Ngesi Radio Facebook page, Stage Elements YouTube channel. Remember, no mask, no entry. Studio entrance is limited. Contact Homba on 066 186 0165 for further details.
Welcome back to the show. Before the ad break, we had Luthando Bacha speaking to us about the Berlin November, which is happening this coming Saturday. Now, fashion extraordinaire and Walter Sisulu University fashion design lecturer Archie Monyebao is off to Ghana this December to showcase his stylish designs at the annual Mercedes-Benz Global Fashion Week. Archie is the only South African designer who will show their work at the extravaganza. His latest collection is called the Bezutsoko collection. Archie has extensive experience in the industry and is here this evening to tell us all about it. Good evening.
Good evening to you, Gugu. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm super, thanks.
You're fresh off a flight, so I really appreciate you being here this evening.
I had to make it. Don't want to disappoint.
Of course.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your collection.
Okay.
Yes, tell us more about the collection and and what inspired it.
Well, it's a great story, actually. The name Bezutsoko, it's actually the 4 cultures.
Okay.
Be, it's actually from Isipedi.
Okay.
Zu from isiZulu.
Yes.
Tso from isiTsonga. And the Klo, it's actually Xhosa.
Okay.
So just pretty much to dissect it, I'm Bedi by birth.
Okay.
Right. And my mom, it's actually Zulu.
All right.
And now, having been Bedi, dominantly so in Limpopo, Bedis and Tongas share a bit of similarities.
Okay.
So I brought that in.
Sure.
Lastly, it's a Xhosa. I've been in the Eastern Cape for 10 years. And ideally so, I've been molded by Xhosa people. So in a sense, I need to bring that in my collection just to share a story.
Wow.
So in brief, all 4 cultures have a bit of similarities, right? Yeah. The 3 first cultures, the Bedis, the Zulus, and the Tongas, ideally uses color to interpret their culture norms and who they are specifically. Then I brought in the Xhosas mainly because of the lines that they use, because of that for me, one line moving from one corner to the other dynamically covers and embraces who they are. But if you go back again into the 3 cultures also implement the lines in their clothes. So this story, in a sense, goes a very long way. And I felt, for me, having to embark on a journey to Ghana, it'll be best for me to take my people with to another country.
Oh, that is a beautiful story. You did not lie.
Thank you.
So let's talk about, you mentioned color, you mentioned lines, you mentioned, those sort of elements. Aesthetically, walk us through the collection.
I was actually hoping to keep it as a secret.
Oh.
But no, it's fine.
Okay.
I'm exploring with color.
Okay.
I'm exploring with texture. One element that I know that most of South African designers are scared to, mostly when it comes to men. Okay. I know a lot of color and designs are experimented with women, but not a men. But I am in this collection quite smart in a sense. I just don't want it to be more overwhelming. Sure. I want it to be very calm and still be accepted in a more common sense way. Okay. So yeah, it's more culture. I mean, it's more color, it's more texture, and the design aesthetics as well. I'm bringing in something that has been done, but I'm kind of like extending it to a certain point.
Wow.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. Okay. Before we get into how we can participate as South Africans in the show, the Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week is a noteworthy event.
Absolutely.
Globally.
Yeah.
And here you are as a South African representative. How do you feel about that achievement?
First of all, a lot of pressure. A lot
I
of
can
pressure.
imagine.
Because in a sense, having been one of the South African designers traveling to Ghana, in a sense, I'm representing designers in South Africa.
Sure.
So whatever I do, however I do it, it ought to be done correctly.
Got you.
So the pressure, it's just overwhelming in a sense. To a point with every piece that I make, I end up asking myself, I get to a point where I ask myself, is it? Will it put it through? Because I don't want to come back with a sense of regret or a sense of I should have, could have, in a sense. So I'm, in a sense, trying to be exploratory, but yet being careful of what I take out there. Yeah. But I guess out of everything else, my showstopper piece,
yes.
It's actually a surprise to everybody. And I can't actually tell you much about it. But yeah, the last piece, it's actually a combination or a collaboration of 5 cultures, bringing the Ghanaians into the entire collection.
Wow.
So, yeah, that is the whole concept.
You've been at it. Clearly, you've been hard at work.
Trust you me. It took me a couple of months to actually think it through.
Yeah.
Thanks to the lockdown process.
Yeah.
That too gave us a lot of time to think hard and spread out into trying different avenues with what we do, what we want to achieve, who we are, and how we want to do it. So that for me has helped me to reach out to greater heights.
Sure.
Yeah.
And, tell us about the process of participating in
Yeah.
Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. How were your design spotted? Was it a matter of a submission process? How did that work?
Well, with many others, it is a submission process.
Sure.
So the team or the organization has a team that would ideally look at your work, what you've been doing, and check your social media handles. So from that point, then they will discuss it further and decide who's actually coming in and who's not. So amongst that, I know for sure that one of the Ghanaian designers that I look up to, Steve French, is showcasing as well. Wow. So that too is adding a lot of pressure. So yeah, but hey, I'm taking this as a learning experience.
Absolutely.
And I'm looking forward to it because I know for sure that I will never disappoint.
That you will not.
Absolutely
Your
not.
talent will carry you there and the character will keep you there. So we're looking
no
forward
doubt.
to it. So how can South Africans now be a part of the show? Are they going to have it virtually? How can we tune in?
Yes, it will be. It will be. A lot of people would have access to it.
Okay.
I know for sure that I'm showcasing in the very last day, if you know what that means. After a whole lot of many other designers showcase their work, now I will have to tell a story, which in a sense has to overpass what others have displayed already. Sure. So that too, in a sense, adds a lot of pressure. But like I said, I'm very ready.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what platforms can we watch it on? Do you know? Maybe.
Not at the point.
Okay.
But I know for sure that I'll be putting it up on my social media pages.
Lovely stuff.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff.
Yeah.
I get it. And we definitely look forward to that. This is quite a milestone, I would say, in a career, a fashion
Absolutely.
career. What would you say have been other highlights, within your fashion career?
Quite a few, actually. It all started in 2005. I was a second-year student at Tshwane University of Technology. I made it to the final, the Gauteng Regional Finals for Durban July. That, for me, was a startup. That's when I realized that this, for me, it's actually a path. And having to have a mother who is more like a role model to me, she kind of like made it easy for me to see my way through.
Sure.
So immediately after that, 2006, when I was in my 3rd year, I traveled to Washington, D.C., when I had to represent Tshwane, because I'm originally from Pretoria. So that too, for me, was kind of like I was trying to digest what happened in 2005 as a startup of my career.
Yeah.
Now that, yet again, because we were attending the Africa Fashion Week in Washington, D.C. In the process of it all, then I tapped into the AFI Fashion Show, which is the Mercedes-Benz Africa Fashion Show. So that for me thus far has been the highlight of my life. And now this.
Wow. Incredible.
Thank you.
So you're also an educator. I mentioned this in the introduction that you are a lecturer as well.
Yeah.
How does that, being an educator also complement, who you are as a designer?
Well, fairly speaking, being an educator and yet being a designer, it's an interesting task or a journey, actually. Because remember, designing or design concepts are explored and experimented every second, if not every minute, globally. So that, in a sense, puts me to be quite aware of what is happening out there. It keeps me on my toes.
Sure.
I have to be the type that wants to step out of my comfort zone. And if I get to be at that point, ideally that helps me to push my students to a certain point. Because my understanding is, should I not be in the industry or be familiar what is practiced in the industry, I will then compromise my student with not only teaching them what is done recently, but rather stick to what's been done in the past years. And that would result to my students not being able to actually present themselves in the industry. Because remember, many other universities use different technology methods and techniques. But if we're going to stick to what's been done in the previous years, we are compromising our students. So I got to a point where I have made a promise to myself to say every day of my life, I would go home to practice a different technique and a different method. Because that too requires you to have direct answers for your students.
Sure.
My speciality at work, it's pattern construction and garments. So apart from the fact that you need to put your design on paper, what's important is bringing the design to life.
Sure.
3D, that's when people get to understand who you are and what you're made out of. So with being a lecturer that takes 30 years, I have to be on my toes. I need to understand what is out there and what is happening, who are the latest designers and what collections are they putting up, what are the latest colors, the trend color palettes, what are the latest collections or fabrics. So I need to be up and about. So for me not to disappoint my students, I need to ensure that I update myself in every day.
Sure, lovely stuff. So people wanting to, for instance, look out for your designs or just to keep up with you, especially as you're about to journey off to Ghana in December. What are your social media handle platforms?
Strange. I normally hide that and people
okay.
No, it's fine. I think I'm the type that wants my work to be out there. I don't want to be in the limelight. But I guess with the career that I'm in, it's rather difficult for me not to step out.
Sure.
With that being said, my Instagram handle, it's monarchy_04. And then on Facebook, it's Monarchy Couture as well. Those are the two that I kind of stick to most of the time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Archie, all the best
Thank you.
for your travels.
Thank you, thanks.
We wish you nothing but the best. You will shine. We know it.
Oh God, pressure. But thank you so much. I'm hoping to represent accordingly.
Of course.
Yeah.
All righty then. All right, that was Archie going off to Ghana this December to showcase his designs at the Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. We truly wish him nothing but the best, and I'm certainly proud that he has been, selected to do this. So after the break, we have our next guest. Don't go anywhere.
The South African Local Government Association, SALGA, will be hosting the annual Provincial Members' Assembly from the 24th to the 25th of November 2020 at the East London ICC. The two-day Members' Assembly will be graced by the executive mayors, speakers, municipal managers, as well as MECs from various sector departments. The PMA, as required in terms of the Constitution, will afford members to attend to SALGA's corporate governance and organizational performance matters, as well as serve as a platform for strategic reflection on cooperative governance and local government challenges. And of course, the strategic reflections on 25 years of local government will be part of the discussions. Add to that, the provincial chairperson of SALGA, Councillor Mxoli Sikoyo, has expressed interest to share his COVID-19 recovery story to encourage communities to continue adhering to lockdown regulations and good hygiene practices during this period through the media. The Provincial Members' Assembly will broadcast live on SALGA Facebook page and all Eastern Cape District and Metro's Facebook pages, including Kids Ngesi Radio Facebook page and Stage Elements YouTube channel.
Welcome back to Sunday Sessions with Gugu. My next guest in studio is an Eastern Cape hip-hop sensation who's fast becoming a trailblazer in the industry. Sizzle is a rapper, songwriter, and producer who's produced music for himself and other South African artists. His breakthrough in the industry was in 2013 after he recorded his lead single, About to Blow. And later, on the same year, he won Best Artist of the Year at the Eastern Cape's Hottest of the Month Awards that were hosted by Beat Magazine SA. Soon after that, Sizzle then started his own record label, called Cloud9 Records. He has a number of musical projects under his belt, and he joins us in studio to speak about them. Sizzle.
Hello, Gugu.
How are you? Well?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. I'm all right. So obviously the pandemic brought about much disruption within the entertainment industry, but you were able to still release music, which is really, really great. Let's talk about your EP, Vibes and Feels.
Yeah. The EP wasn't really planned,
Okay.
because I'm working on something that I was planning to drop later this year.
Okay.
And at the time I was doing like shows monthly. So that's where the focus was at.
Okay.
The body of project that I'm working on and the shows that I'm doing monthly.
Sure.
And COVID happened. So, as an entertainer, I looked at it as like, okay, what can I do now, considering the fact that we can't gig, we can't do anything. So I was like, at the end of the day, people that are used to you entertaining them, like they're gonna need something from you. Because if you go quiet for a month or two, we're gonna forget about you. It's a tough industry that we're in.
Yeah, it is.
So I looked at it, I was like, okay, cool. Fortunately, I produce my own music, so I don't have to go to anyone's studio, which is like risking my life.
Sure.
So I had to still stay, like I quarantined in my house, in my studio basically. And that's when I decided to do the EP. And at the beginning, it started off like as an idea that can I pull it off? Because in the beginning of the lockdown, it was like 21 days. And none of us thought that it would take months. Yes. So I thought, okay, I could use that 21 days to myself.
Okay.
Which is like making the body of like the EP. And when I started making the EP and then reality kicked in that, hey, you don't have money, you're an artist, you're not gigging, there's nothing happening, you're stuck at home. So I was like, okay, cool, how am I gonna get it out there? Because at the end of the day, I wanted to be something that people can consume like worldwide.
Absolutely.
Not only in East London, because especially the fact that I couldn't print CDs. So I had to make sure that it's available digitally.
Sure.
So your iTunes, your Spotify is obviously a perfect fit for you to have your project on.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the fact that like now, as I said to you, that financially I'm stranded in a corner. So I reached out like on social media that, guys, I'm releasing an EP in the next 2 weeks. Can you like any amount of donations that you can be able to put in? I would really appreciate that. And people like they were really like embraced the idea and they put in the donations. Within 3 weeks time, the EP was out on iTunes.
Wow.
So so that's a beautiful story of like from my side with the COVID thingy. As much as there's a lot of negative things that happened, but when I looked at it like the level 5, 4s, like that's where we're at the moment. And I looked at it, it was like, hey, people really embraced like what we're doing as artists and understanding where we are right now. So yeah, that was really something like that made you feel proud as an Eastern Cape artist, because we kind of feel like in most cases we're not appreciated more. We always feel like we need to leave Eastern Cape first in order for us to get that recognition in Joburg or Cape Town. So it's really like great for you to be in Eastern Cape and still get the support. For me that was the moment.
Oh wow.
So
Lovely.
Yeah, man.
Love to hear that. Teamwork really does make the dream work.
Yeah, most definitely.
So I spotted on your social media platforms that you shot a video recently, with some prolific faces. So
Yes.
let's talk about that music video and what it's leading up to.
Yes. Yeah, with the music video, I looked at it that as artists, we always do the same thing and expect different results. So for someone that has been in the industry for, I could say like 7 years, because I've been like recording since like 2008, 2009, but I could safely say that taking my music serious like 2013 when I released that single, About to Blow. So over the years, I've been like releasing music and hoping for the best.
Sure.
And you know, things would slightly move up a bit, but not how you want them to. You know. So I looked at the situation now. I also, like with the lockdown period, it also gave me enough time to reflect on a lot of things. And my music, how I release it, you know, the approach, wanting to go national and everything, it meant that I need to have a different approach.
Sure.
Yeah, one. And my approach in this case was that I've been doing everything myself, and it kind of seems like it's not really working enough for me to crack to the next level.
Yeah.
So fortunately, you know, with these healthy relationships that I've built in the music industry, you know, with these like faces that you're speaking about, I managed to, you know, make these phone calls that I have this idea, you know, can we do A, B, C, D, E? I can do this for you. Can you do, you know, those type? That's how the industry goes. You already know that. So it was that situation, man. And fortunately, everything was in my favor. You know, they understood the idea. They're like, okay, cool, no, we're gonna avail our time. And last Saturday, we shot the music video in the warehouse that's next to Hemingway's.
Okay.
So I wanted to make sure that everything is done here in East London.
Sure.
So that when you're releasing like the work in Joburg nationally, people could actually see that East London is just more than what they think it is. You know, because I was getting a lot of people asking like, yo, where did you shoot the video? You went to? I was like, no, I was in East London. You know, but they don't know those areas of which I feel like as artists, as creatives, we're supposed to show those areas.
Absolutely.
You know, and showing the beauty of Eastern Cape, East London at large, you know. So yeah, that was the highlight of it all, like that music video thing.
Wow.
And I'm looking forward to the results. Like,
We're there?
we're editing the video now, so.
Okay, cool. We'll keep our eyes glued on that. Are we
Yeah.
able to maybe drop the name of the song, or can
There.
you give us like a hint or something?
Yeah. Well, like the song is not on the EP.
Okay.
It's not on the EP. It's on an album that I'm gonna be releasing soon.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wanted to put all that effort, as I did say to you, that the EP wasn't much planned financially. The album is planned somewhere around financially.
Got you.
So that's why like the investment of having those faces should be on what's planned financially. So
Okay. Yeah, I think if our viewers want to see what we're talking about, Sizzle's, you know, social media pages will let you know about
yes,
it. Sure.
yes.
So let's chat about, you know, other musical projects that you've done, you know, other music that you've released.
Oof. Well, like I released my first project 2016. Well, that was like Brand New Old Me. That was my debut project. And I kind of felt like with all the experience that I had in the music industry, that was like my first, my first love.
Sure,
basically,
sure,
you know?
sure.
And yeah, I've got some recognition of that, you know, and it got to a case of like events that I've performed at, you know, the recognition that I got from that project, and Vibes and Feels is the second project, you know. But apart from that, I work a lot with other people, as Lendoka's projects. Because my business is actually based on producing for other people.
Okay, okay.
And then I get to have myself as an artist that I'm producing for myself also. Sure. So during the COVID, it was like kind of like clash balance for me.
Sure.
Considering the fact that as an artist, I wasn't doing much. So that's when the production kind of stepped in.
Gotcha.
You know. So as far as like with the projects, I produce more for other people.
I see.
And a lot of people think that because I have a studio, I record every day. No. The last time I recorded before the EP Vibes and Feels, the last time I recorded was last year.
Jeez.
Yeah, until March, recording Vibes and Feels. So most of the time I work on other people's projects.
Got you.
And then when it comes to mine, then I have a purpose for it. And then when I release it, I know what I'm targeting and you know, go for that.
Love
so and there's a lot of work that I'm producing for other people now.
Sure.
That are kind of like in higher levels than me. So I kind of feel like 2020 is going to be a great year.
Love
2021.
2021, yeah.
Yes.
Love that.
No, we need to put 2020 behind.
Let us put it to rest, please.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that, but I can't speak about those projects because everything is still like on the pipeline at the moment.
Sure.
But yeah, something to look forward to.
As long as you're booked and busy.
Yeah, I'll keep you guys updated.
Please do. Sure. And lastly, Sizzle, how can people then get a hold of you on social media platforms to keep up with your work?
Yeah. Social media is Sizzle RSA. That's pretty much like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Lovely.
And pretty much all these things that we're talking about right now, you just see them on my feed.
Lovely.
And I'm very active. Like if you follow me, I follow back. And it's that easy. Let's just grow together. And the song that I'm going to perform now is also part of the work that I'm going to be releasing soon. So if you follow me on social media, you're going to be updated with all the work that I'm doing and the work that I've done already.
Lovely.
So yeah.
Woo, okay. Keep on keeping on. I love the energy.
Yes.
Love the energy. Thank you so much for joining us, Sizzle.
Thanks for having me. It actually means a lot, like, for me to be here and part of this, like, because I've been watching this event, like, this platform for quite a moment, and it's a moment that, as an artist, you want to grow with the music, because we also need to appreciate the fact that we don't have TV in East London. And now that you guys stepping in, it also adds value into the entertainment space that we have this side.
Wow.
So we're really grateful for the platform that you guys have created for us as creatives and business people in East London. We're grateful for that.
Wow. Thank you.
Thanks to you, man.
All righty then. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. That was Sizzle, hip-hop sensation, a trailblazer, producer, you name it. He's going to be performing after the break, so don't go anywhere.
iSALGA Provincial Members Assembly 2020 izaqala nge-24th ukuya ku-25th kaNovemba e-East London ICC. Le ndibano yentsukumbini izatyuwa ngoosodolophu, osomlomo bebhunga, abalawuli bomasipala nabaphathiswa bamasebe ohlukeneyo. I-PMA ngokugunyaziswa ngumgaqo-siseko iza kunika amalungu ukuba akhe ajonge indlela elawula ngayo iSALGA kwanokusebenza kwayo kukwagxilwe nakwimingeni. Iminyaka eyi-25 yorhulumente basemakhaya kwidemokhrasi nayo iza kuxoxwa kule ndibano. Ukanti usihlalo weSALGA eMpuma Kapa, uKhansila Mxolisi Goyo, uvakalise umdla wakhe wokwabelana ngebali lakhe ne-COVID-19 ekwenza oku ukukhuthaza uluntu ukuba luqhubeke ngokuqaphela imigqaliselo ye-COVID-19. Le ndibano iza kusasazwa kwikhasi lonxibelelwano likaFacebook leSALGA nakubo bonke oomasipala bezithili nemetro eMpuma Kapa, kuquka neKithngesi Radio Facebook page neStage Elements YouTube channel. The South African Local Government Association, SALGA, will be hosting the annual Provincial Members Assembly from the 24th to the 25th of November 2020 at the East London ICC. The two-day Members Assembly will be graced by the executive mayors, speakers, municipal managers, as well as MECs from various sector departments. The PMA, as required in terms of the Constitution, will afford members to attend to SALGA's corporate governance and organizational performance matters, as well as serve as a platform for strategic reflection on cooperative governance and local government challenges. And of course, the strategic reflections on 25 years of local government will be part of the discussions. Add to that, the provincial chairperson of SALGA, Councillor Mxolisi Goyo, has expressed interest to share his COVID-19 recovery story to encourage communities to continue adhering to lockdown regulations and good hygiene practices during this period through the media. The Provincial Members Assembly will broadcast live on SALGA Facebook page and all Eastern Cape District and Metro's Facebook pages, including Kithngesi Radio Facebook page and Stage Elements YouTube channel.
Wake up in the morning and I feel so blessed. Everything I've been through made me who I am. Everything that broke me, put that in the past. Made it out the hood, I'm gonna be the best. And I said adios, oh, adios to my problems. Yeah, let's go, oh, get this money with my bros. But so I'm trying to fit the fam, always on the go. Body low, till I'll never get a richer pinnacle. Adios, oh, adios to my problems. Yeah, let's go, oh, get this money with my bros. But so I'm trying to fit the fam, always on the go. Body low, till I'll never get a richer pinnacle. Adios, oh, adios to my problems. 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 But me everywhere I go. What I did is quite a miracle. Wasting on the streets like a cannibal. Trip from overseas, my steez is undeniable. Tryna get this cash through my G's, you know the protocol. Always in the car for my business, no time for booty call. My mama's stressing out, tryna get it out the slums. Pray to God will lift me up, I'm the diamond in the rough, yeah, yeah. Wake up in the morning and I feel so blessed. Everything I've been through made me who I am. Everything that broke me, put that in the past. Made it out the hood, I'm gon' be the best. And I say adios, oh, adios to my problems. Yeah, let's go, oh, get money with my bros. But so tryna fit the fam, always on the go. Body low, I'll never get a richer pinnacle. Adios, oh, adios to my problems. Yeah, let's go, oh, get money with my bros. But so tryna fit the fam, always on the go. Body low, I'll never get a richer pinnacle. Adios, oh, adios to my problems. Adios, oh, adios to my problems. Adios, oh, adios to my problems. Adios, oh, adios to my problems.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are invited to an extraordinary moment, a moment we've been waiting for, a virtual launch of our collective book, To My Young Self, a book of its kind, authored by men and women home and abroad, a book that was conceived and born during the world pandemic. We are honored to have Professor Lumumba as our guest. It's a rare opportunity to marvel into his wisdom. He will definitely have something to say to our young selves on the day. The launch is on the 5th of December 2020 at 11 a.m. live on KNDT Facebook page, Kithngesi Radio Facebook page, Stage Elements YouTube channel. Remember, no mask, no entry. Studio entrance is limited. Contact Homba on 066 186 0165 for further details. The South African Local Government Association, SALGA, will be hosting the annual Provincial Members' Assembly from the 24th to the 25th of November 2020 at the East London ICC. The two-day Members' Assembly will be graced by the executive mayors, speakers, municipal managers, as well as MECs from various sector departments. The PMA, as required in terms of the Constitution, will afford members to attend to SALGA's corporate governance and organizational performance matters, as well as serve as a platform for strategic reflection on cooperative governance and local government challenges. And of course, the strategic reflections on 25 years of local government will be part of the discussions. Add to that, the provincial chairperson of SALGA, Councillor Mxoli Sikoyo, has expressed interest to share his COVID-19 recovery story to encourage communities to continue adhering to lockdown regulations and good hygiene practices during this period through the media. The Provincial Members' Assembly will broadcast live on SALGA Facebook page and all Eastern Cape District and Metro's Facebook pages, including Kithngesi Radio Facebook page and Stage Elements YouTube channel.
Welcome back to Sunday Sessions with Gugu. That was Sizzle before the ad break performing Adios. Thank you so much, Sizzle, for that performance. What a dope one. Now we've come to that time of the show where we get our groove on, where we end off Sunday on a very high note. And the person here to do that is, of course, DJ LT with a headline set. Let's do it, my G.
Seems as if I walk this earth without a clue. For all along I had the answers, never followed through. I had his love, there was nothing else required. Still I kept on searching for worldly desire. I kept on, yeah.
It is as good to go. LT! Oh wow, that was DJ LT, the effervescent of the show. As you saw for yourself, he brought us the headline set. What a lovely way to end off what has been an incredible show. I'd like to thank our studio guest this evening for joining us. Lutando Baga, all the best for the Bill of November this coming weekend. We are sure that it's going to be a raging success. Archie as well, we wish you nothing but the best as you jet off to Ghana and represent our country at the Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. And of course, Sizzle, a trailblazer, Betuna, a trendsetter. You saw it yourself here on Sunday Sessions with Gugu. We also wish you nothing but the best. His music is available on all digital platforms. We are back again next week Sunday with our finale for 2020. It's going to be a jam-packed show. You don't want to miss this one. Thank you for tuning in. From myself and LT and the SSG family, it's goodbye.